Happy New Year! It's the middle of January. Do you have your New Year's resolutions done yet? No? Well, that's not surprising. But for people with ADHD, it may be even harder to complete New Year's resolutions and keep the momentum going throughout the year. What kinds of things can go wrong? There can be no follow-through. You can become overwhelmed easily. You can also be easily bored by the work that it takes to complete your resolution. And you can feel defeated when daily goals are not met. So let's talk about some of these areas and what we can do to kind of rectify them for those of you with ADHD. The first thing we need to tackle is not following through. This is a big one. I know that it's hard for many people to not follow through, but with people with ADHD, it just seems to be a characteristic. And there are ways to combat this. It doesn't have to take over. You can follow through with something. The first thing that I would suggest would be to write out your goal. It's really easy to lose track of your goal and not follow through if you don't have it written somewhere. What I like to do is write it out and put it somewhere where I see it every day, like on my calendar or on my fridge. Make sure your goal is realistic. If you want to lose 50 pounds in 2 months, you're not going to follow through because that's not realistic. You need to make sure that you're setting goals that are going to be able to be completed within the next year or 6 months or however long you want them to be completed. Next, becoming overwhelmed. If you look at the big picture, you're going to be overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed all the time. When I was in my master's program and I would write my papers, I would tell Ben, I'm never going to be able to get this done. And the thing that he would tell me every time was, just get started. Start small. Just start. And that's probably the best advice I've ever had. And he even still to this day has to tell me, when I say, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, he says, just get started. And that's what's important. If you take it a baby step at a time and make a little bit, break your goal up into tinier goals, then you're going to see that it's not so overwhelming. Now let's visit boredom. Boredom is a big one for people with ADHD because if it's not something that you really love doing, you can easily get bored. For example, I do not love reading. I get bored by reading, but I love the idea of reading and I love having all those stories in my head. So one of my goals this year is to be able to read a book. But how do I combat the boredom that goes along with the book reading? So the first way I might do that is be creative. That is, find new ways to complete the task. And that might have something to do with the point earlier about being overwhelmed. You might want to break the task up into pieces to complete the task. Like with my reading, I might sit down for 15 minutes, read the book, and then walk away. And then come back to it the next day or even a few hours later and read for 15 more minutes. For somebody who's doing something like weight loss, if you're really bored just running on a treadmill, go outside. It's beautiful running outside. The next point would be to revisit why you made the goal. Why do you want to read a book? Why do you want to lose weight? If you sit down and really think about why you want to do this goal, it can re-energize you and give you a whole new perspective and make you want to do this goal, make you want to complete this task, and then you won't feel bored. And finally, I'd say invite a friend. There's always strength in numbers. Have some accountability. Have some fun with your friends. Have some fellowship. It's just a really good time to be social and get to know people. So if you're feeling defeated, there's no time like the present. Just get right back up on that horse and you'll be able to do it. I know you can. I have completed goals in my life. Like I said earlier, I used to not like to run, but now I run and I love it. If I can do something and complete a goal, anybody can. So I hope that was helpful for you today. And if you have any further questions, please contact us at McNay and Voth Coaching Services. You can find us at coachadhd.com. That's COACHADHD.com. Talk to you guys later.